Promoting biking and walking is certainly about the environment. It's about, equity in our communities, and it's about having fun.
We met Jacob Van Sickle of Bike Cleveland at an under-construction trail in the Flats. It's a connector that will soon be a part of the Cuyahoga Greenway. Van Sickle's been peddling the idea of a bike-friendly community since 2012.
There are, a good portion of the population that's interested in bicycling but concerned, and their concern is about safety. So, the work that we do around advocating for infrastructure, connected infrastructure that will get people where they need to go on a bike safely, it's important. But the other key piece of that is educating people that don't necessarily look like me how to bike safely so that we can have a great inclusive movement of people biking around Cleveland.
But part of building that inclusive movement and getting riders on all these new trails also involves changing the idea of what a cyclist looks like.
I always thought a biker had to be like Lance Armstrong, a skinny guy that can just whip, ride in tandem with everything. That's what I saw on TV. I always saw that type of person. We defy that stereotype because even though we don't look like a stereotypical biker, we can perform just as well.
Lindsay Kimura joined the Cleveland chapter of an organization called Black Girls Do Bike a couple years ago. Black Girls Do Bike began in Pittsburgh in 2015 and now has over 80 chapters nationwide.
Black Girls Do Bike is just a great community of women that just like to do the same thing. We all like to ride on two wheels.
I would ride with various groups here in the greater Cleveland area, and I would find me being the only woman of color on the bike rides. If you don't see people that look like you wonder, do you actually fit in? And you wonder, is this for me?
Deltrice is the Shiro, or head of the Akron chapter of Black Girls Do Bike. She found the organization a few years ago through an internet search.
If you can get that support from other women, then you just be like, okay, yes, I can do this.
The community of women here in the Cleveland area, we depend on each other. Like when we're out riding our bike, I get a text message, hey Diana, I'm riding my bike, I'll call you if I need something, or I have a flat, can you come help me? There's always that sense of security. You're always gonna have somebody who's gonna take care of you. And I think by establishing that from the beginning for anybody who's coming into Black Girls Do Bike, they're like, wow, where did these ladies come from? I was just out one day, just got this helmet and I had a pink jacket on. And as I'm stopped at a stop sign, this little girl looks out the window and just starts waving. And at that point, I knew that by me wearing pink or wearing a pink helmet or just being visible as a woman within the community, it will encourage more women to ride bikes.
Diana Hildebrand, who goes by Diva D, is the Shiro of the Cleveland chapter of Black Girls Do Bike. She says it's about support, but it's also about trying to be a visible part of a community that they've often felt shut out of.
The one thing that I noticed that we face, because I talk to a lot of women of color, especially when we're riding our bikes together, that they feel like they're not visible in the community and that we have no voice. The cycling community is predominantly Caucasian men. And then it goes to the women, and then all the way down on the totem pole, you got the men of color and the women of color at the very bottom. Normally how society sees us, The ultimate goal of Black Girls Do Bike is to actually change the culture of cycling. It will never be a question about what are we doing out here, because we are here.
Give me like a big old smile.
And members of Black Girls Do Bike were out in full force at a Juneteenth edition of Slow Roll, a large recurring group bike ride. But Hildebrand was also there as a volunteer on the squad, the team in charge of safety. The ride attracted a mix of ages, races, and genders from throughout the city, all departing from Shaker Square and making stops at African-American cultural landmarks in the Buckeye Shaker neighborhood. At one point, things got tense when some of the younger African-American riders in the group started popping wheelies, which squad members considered a safety concern for the group.
Be careful! 2 wheels on the ground, please!
It was comments of, can you not wheelie? Can you put the wheel down? Do you not mind? We're looking for the safety of all the other people. And somebody got called a jerk. And once somebody got called a jerk, I said, hey, don't be disrespectful, don't be rude. I said, you in my neighborhood. You're a guest in Shaker Heights today. And we ride up and down this street all the time. So the last thing I'm gonna do is not say something when young people have come to ride, with me.
Shaker Heights artist Donald Black frequently rides with kids in his neighborhood. He says the tricks they do are inspired by dirt bike riders they see on the street.
And then they asked me to leave. And then I just thought it was gonna be funny because I knew I was gonna get the microphone at the end of the ride.
Organizers of Slow Roll had asked Black to come on the ride and discuss a mural he painted at the Harvey Rice branch of the Cleveland Public Library, the last stop on the Juneteenth ride.
And so they actually had him come and speak to the Slow Roll riders. Now, doing this speech, he did discuss some of the things that were happening within the Slow Roll, and he discussed how he felt like the young men that were participating in Slow Roll were being harassed.
The goal is not for us not to come. The goal is for us to be able to ride. We're gonna find our own space. It ain't nothing nobody out here can do about it. I heard diversity and inclusion with Metro talking, like, come on. So we might need y'all to be patient, but the reality is you're not gonna bully us, you're not gonna pick on us, you're not gonna disrespect these kids.
I am a part of Slow Roll, plus, you know, I'm an African-American woman, you know, and it was an organization where we want to keep everybody safe, but then at the same time, I understand where he's coming from, because if we're really trying to build the gap or bridge the gap between all cyclists within the community, we're going to have to be understanding of the different type of cyclists that are going to be coming around us.
When Hildebrand spoke to Black that night, one thing he said really stuck with her.
We might be able to do something, but you gotta remember that my face is different than your face. It is. I'm saying the alarm and the triggered alert.
I kept thinking about this on my way home, is that my face is more familiar, and that I don't feel, a lot of people don't feel like they have to put their guard up when I'm around. And I'm trying to use the platform that I have right now to bridge the gap, to bring the urban cyclists, the ones who don't know about all the safeties that come along with cycling these days and all the bike laws that have been established for us. And I'm trying to bridge the gap to bring the elite cyclists with us and say, hey, we don't always have to follow this rule, but we can bend it a little bit. We can make it a little bit more flexible. I really truly believe that the cycling community and the cycling culture can change, and it will change.